I have 2 bronze stars, a Purple Heart, and 3 commendation medals sitting in a box in my garage. 23 people are alive today because of decisions I made in Afghanistan between 2009 and 2012. I can tell you the name of every single one of them. I can tell you what they were wearing, what the weather was like, what I had for breakfast that morning, but I can't tell you the exact moment my wife stopped loving me. My name is Michael. I'm 42 years old. I've been divorced for 3 years, and I'm here to tell you that you can save lives on a battlefield and still lose everything that matters when you come home. This isn't a story about heroism. It's a story about the cost of being a hero. And trust me, that cost is higher than you think. I met Jennifer in 2005 at a barbecue in Colorado Springs. I was 23, fresh out of Ranger School, cocky as hell and convinced I was invincible. She was 21, finishing her nursing degree, with this smile that could light up a room and eyes that saw right through my bullshit. We got married 8 months later. Too fast, everyone said. You barely know each other. But when you're in the military and you're about to deploy, you don't think about taking things slow. You think about making sure that if something happens to you, there's someone who'll get that flag and know that you love them. My first deployment to Iraq in 2006 was relatively quiet. I came home in one piece. We bought a house, and Jennifer got pregnant. Our daughter Lily was born in 2007, and for about 18 months, life was perfect. I was stationed at Fort Benning, doing training rotations, home every night for dinner. Jen would wait up for me, and we'd sit on the porch after Lily went to sleep, drinking beer and talking about our future. Then in 2009, they told me I was going to Afghanistan, Helmand Province, one of the hottest zones in the country. I remember telling Jennifer at the kitchen table. She was feeding Lily, who was barely 2 years old, and her hand just stopped halfway to Lily's mouth, the spoon suspended in the air with mashed carrots dripping back into the bowl. When? She asked quietly. 6 weeks. She nodded slowly, put the spoon down and picked up Lily. I need to give her a bath, she said, and walked out of the room. I found her an hour later, sitting on the bathroom floor, Lily playing in the tub, and Jennifer just staring at the wall with tears running down her face. I'm going to come back, I told her, kneeling beside her. I promise you, I'm coming back. She looked at me with those beautiful eyes, and she said something I'll never forget. I know you'll try, but what if trying isn't enough? I deployed to Afghanistan in March 2009, Forward Operating Base Dwyer in Helmand Province. If you've never been there, imagine the surface of Mars, but hotter and with people actively trying to kill you. Everything was brown and gray and dusty. The heat was so intense it felt like breathing through a hairdryer. And the Taliban owned the night. I was a platoon leader, 26 men under my command. Some of them were veterans, on their 3rd or 4th deployment. Some of them were kids who'd never been shot at before. My job was to keep them alive and complete whatever mission command gave us. The first life I saved wasn't even combat related. It was 3 weeks into the deployment. One of my soldiers, a specialist named Rodriguez from Miami, he got bit by a camel spider while he was sleeping. Woke up screaming, his hand already swelling up like a balloon. Some people are allergic to the venom, and Rodriguez was one of them. His throat started closing up. Our medic was on a supply run. Wouldn't be back for 2 hours. The nearest medical facility was 40 minutes away, and Rodriguez had maybe 10 minutes before his airway closed completely. I'd done combat lifesaver training, but I'd never had to do an emergency tracheotomy before. I'd practiced on dummies, watched videos, but this was real. This was a kid from Miami who'd shown me pictures of his little sisters just the night before, and he was dying in front of me. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold the scalpel. But I made the incision. I inserted the tube, and Rodriguez gasped, and air flowed, and he lived. He looked up at me with these wide, terrified eyes, unable to talk because of the tube in his throat, and I saw something I'd never seen before, complete and total trust. This kid was trusting me with his life, and I'd come through. That night, I called Jennifer on the satellite phone. We got 15 minutes once a week if we were lucky. I told her about Rodriguez, about how scared I'd been, about how my hands had shaken. But you did it, she said. You saved him. Yeah, I said. I did. I'm proud of you, baby. Lily and I are so proud of you. We talked about normal things after that. How Lily was learning to talk. How Jennifer's sister was driving her crazy. How the dishwasher was broken and she was waiting for the landlord to fix it. Normal, boring, beautiful things. When the call ended, I sat in the dark outside the communications tent and felt this overwhelming sense of purpose. I was doing something that mattered. I was saving lives. I wish I'd known then what I know now, that every life you save in combat takes a piece of you with it, and eventually, you run out of pieces to give. The second life I saved was a month later. We were on patrol in a village called Marja. The place was a Taliban stronghold that we'd been trying to clear for weeks. Every street was a potential ambush. Every doorway could have an insurgent with an RPG. Every pile of trash could be hiding an IED. We were moving through a residential area when I heard it, a child crying. Not the normal crying you hear in villages. This was pain. This was terror. I held up my fist, and the patrol stopped. Everyone got quiet, weapons up, scanning for threats. And there it was again, crying, coming from a compound. To our left. Could be a trap, my sergeant, a guy named Kowalski from Detroit, said quietly. Could be, I agreed. But what if it's not? We approached carefully. The gate to the compound was open, which was unusual. Afghan families kept their gates closed. This felt wrong, but that crying wouldn't stop. Inside the courtyard, we found a boy, maybe 7 years old, lying on the ground. His leg was mangled, blood everywhere. An IED had gone off, but it was old, probably left over from Soviet times. The kid had been playing and triggered it. His mother was there, screaming and crying, trying to stop the bleeding with her hijab. When she saw us, Americans with guns, she started begging in Pashto. Our interpreter, a local guy named Assad, translated. She says, please save her son. Please don't let him die. The kid was going into shock. He'd already lost a lot of blood. If we didn't get him to a field hospital in the next 30 minutes, he was done. I called for a medevac, but the response came back that they couldn't land in the village. Too dangerous. We'd have to bring the kid to the extraction point 3 kilometers away. 3 kilometers, through hostile territory, carrying a wounded child. Let's move, I said. Rodriguez, the same kid whose life I'd saved with the tracheotomy, he picked up that Afghan boy like he weighed nothing and started running. The rest of us formed a perimeter around him, weapons out, moving as fast as we could through those narrow streets. We took fire twice, AK-47 rounds pinging off the walls around us. We returned fire, kept moving, didn't stop. That kid was dying, and stopping meant he'd die for sure. We made it to the extraction point with maybe 5 minutes to spare. The helicopter landed, dust everywhere, and I personally handed that boy to the flight medic. Is he going to make it? I shouted over the rotor wash. The medic, a woman who couldn't have been more than 25, looked at the kid, looked at me, and nodded. Yeah, he's going to make it. The helicopter took off, and I stood there in the dust cloud, covered in that kid's blood, and felt that same sense of purpose. 2 lives saved. 2 human beings who were going to see another day because of me. That night, I tried to call Jennifer, but the satellite was down. I wrote her a letter instead, told her about the boy, told her how Rodriguez had stepped up, told her how much I missed her and Lily. I didn't tell her about the nightmares I was starting to have. I didn't tell her that I'd started sleeping with my rifle next to my cot because I didn't feel safe without it. I didn't tell her that every time I closed my eyes, I saw that boy's mangled leg and wondered how many other kids were out there, playing in fields full of old explosives. I didn't want to worry her. That's what I told myself. But the truth is, I was already starting to split into 2 people. The me that existed in Afghanistan and the me that existed in phone calls and letters home. And those 2 versions of me were getting harder and harder to reconcile. By the end of 2009, I'd saved 6 more lives. A soldier who'd been shot in the chest, and I'd kept pressure on the wound until the medic arrived. 2 Afghan National Army soldiers who'd been trapped in a burning Humvee after an RPG hit, and I'd pulled them out. Another kid, this one a girl, who'd drunk contaminated water and was dying of dysentery, and we'd gotten her to a clinic in time. Each time I felt that rush, that sense of purpose, that feeling that I was doing something important, something meaningful. Each time the distance between me and home grew a little bit wider. I came home in March 2010 for 2 weeks of R&R. Leave, they called it. A chance to decompress, to reconnect with family. Jennifer picked me up at the airport with Lily. My daughter was almost 3 years old, and she barely recognized me. She hid behind Jennifer's legs, peeking out at this stranger in uniform who was supposedly her father. That broke something in me. Standing in that airport, looking at my daughter who was afraid of me, I felt this hollowness open up in my chest. "It's okay, baby," Jennifer said to Lily, picking her up. "That's Daddy. Remember Daddy?" Lily nodded uncertainly, then buried her face in Jennifer's neck. The drive home was quiet. Jennifer tried to make conversation, asking about the flight, telling me about things that had happened while I was gone. But I couldn't focus. I was scanning the roads for IEDs. I was checking the overpasses for potential ambush positions. My hand kept reaching for a rifle that wasn't there. "Michael," Jennifer said softly, "you're home. You're safe." "I know," I said. But I didn't feel safe. I felt exposed, vulnerable, like a threat could come from anywhere at any moment. That night, after we put Lily to bed, Jennifer and I tried to be intimate, tried to reconnect as husband and wife, but I couldn't. I was there physically, but mentally I was still in Afghanistan. I was still thinking about my men, still running through contingency plans, still preparing for the next mission. Jennifer cried afterward, not loud dramatic sobs, just quiet tears that she tried to hide by turning away from me. "I'm sorry," I said. "I just need some time to adjust. You've been home for 6 hours," she whispered, "and you haven't really looked at me once." She was right, I hadn't, because looking at her, really looking at her, meant acknowledging how far apart we'd grown. It meant seeing what I was losing, and I couldn't handle that on top of everything else. Those 2 weeks went by in a blur. I spent most of my time either working out or sitting in the garage, just being alone. Jennifer tried to reach me. She'd suggest we go out to dinner, just the two of us. She'd ask me to tell her about Afghanistan. She'd try to talk about our future, about what would happen when I got out of the army. But I had nothing to give her. I was empty. All my energy, all my focus, all my emotional capacity was being spent on keeping my men alive 7,000 miles away. There was nothing left over for my wife and daughter. The day before I flew back to Afghanistan, Jennifer and I had our first real fight. We were in the kitchen, Lily was napping, and Jennifer just exploded. "You've been here for 2 weeks and I feel like I've barely seen you. You sleep on the couch. You don't talk to me. You barely interact with Lily. What is going on?" "I'm dealing with a lot," I said defensively. "We're all dealing with a lot. You think this is easy for me? Being here alone, raising our daughter by myself, not knowing if you're alive or dead half the time. You think that's easy? I'm doing the best I can." "Well, your best isn't good enough." She was crying now, angry tears streaming down her face. "I need you here, Michael, really here. Not just physically present but checked out mentally. Lily needs her father. I need my husband. And right now it feels like we don't have either." I should have fought for her in that moment. I should have told her she was right. I should have promised to do better, to try harder, to find a way to be present. Instead, I said, "I have 7 months left on this deployment. After that, we'll figure it out." 7 months, she repeated quietly. "And then what? You think you're just going to come home and everything's going to be fine? You think you're going to flip a switch and suddenly be the man I married?" "I don't know," I admitted. "I don't know what's going to happen, but I need you to trust me. I need you to hold on for 7 more months." She looked at me for a long time, and I could see her calculating, trying to decide if she could do it. Finally, she nodded. "Okay, 7 more months. But Michael, when you come home, you need to really come home. Do you understand? Not just your body, all of you." "I will," I promised. "I swear to you, I will." I was lying. Not intentionally, but I was lying. Because I had no idea how to keep that promise. I had no idea how to come home. I went back to Afghanistan, and the missions got more intense. We were pushing deeper into Taliban territory. The firefights were more frequent. The casualties were mounting on both sides. In June 2010, we lost our first man, a private named Chen from California. He was 20 years old. He stepped on an IED, and he was gone before we could even get to him. One moment he was there, joking about how he was going to spend his leave in Vegas. The next moment, there was just smoke and debris and pieces of a kid who'd barely started his life. I had to pack up his personal effects. I had to write a letter to his parents. I had to call them and tell them their son was a hero. And then I had to get up the next morning and lead another patrol. Because that was my job. I saved 3 more lives that summer. A soldier who'd been shot in the abdomen during an ambush. An Afghan interpreter who'd been targeted by the Taliban. and would have been killed if we hadn't extracted him. A little boy who'd been caught in crossfire and took shrapnel to his chest. 23 lives, that's what the final count was by the time my deployment ended in October 2010. 23 people who were breathing because of decisions I made. But my marriage was dying, and I didn't know how to save it. I came home in October 2010, and this time it was different. I wasn't planning to go back. My contract was up. I could either re-enlist or get out and try to build a civilian life. Jennifer met me at the airport again. Lily was 3.5 now, and she remembered me this time. She ran to me shouting, "Daddy," and I picked her up and held her and felt like maybe, just maybe, things could be okay. But they weren't okay. Within a week, it was clear that I was broken in ways I hadn't been before. The nightmares were worse. I'd wake up screaming, seeing Chen's body, seeing that Afghan boy's mangled leg, seeing Taliban fighters coming. Through the walls. I couldn't handle loud noises. If a car backfired or a door slammed, I'd hit the ground or reach for a weapon that wasn't there. Jennifer would find me at 3 a.m. sitting in Lily's room with a baseball bat, guarding her from threats that didn't exist. I started drinking. Not heavily at first, just a couple beers at night to take the edge off. But a couple became 4, and 4 became 6, and pretty soon I was going through a 12-pack every few days. Jennifer begged me to get help, to see a therapist, to go to the VA. "There's nothing wrong with me," I'd insist. "I just need time to adjust." "It's been 3 months, she said. "You're not adjusting, you're getting worse." She was right. I was getting worse. I couldn't hold down a job. I'd gotten hired at a security company, but I kept having panic attacks and had to quit. I'd tried working construction, but I couldn't focus. My hands would shake whenever I had to use power tools, because the sound reminded me of gunfire. I was disappearing into myself, and I was taking my family down with me. The breaking point came in March 2011. I'd been home for 5 months. Jennifer's mother had come to visit for a week, and I couldn't handle having another person in the house. I felt crowded, trapped, like I couldn't breathe. One night, I went out to a bar. I told Jennifer I needed some space, some time alone. I promised I'd be back by midnight. I didn't come home until 4 a.m, drunk out of my mind. I'd gotten into a fight with some guy who'd said something about veterans being baby killers. I'd beaten him badly enough that the cops were called. They let me go because the other guy didn't want to press charges, but they told me if it happened again, I'd be arrested. I stumbled into the house, and Jennifer was waiting up. She wasn't angry. She wasn't even crying. She just looked tired, exhausted, defeated. "I can't do this anymore," she said quietly. "Can't do what?" I slurred. "This. Us. I can't keep watching you destroy yourself. I can't keep letting Lily see her father like this. I can't keep pretending that love is enough to fix this. I'll get better, I promised. I just need more time." "You don't need more time. You need help, professional help. And you won't get it. You refuse to even admit there's a problem." "I saved 23 lives," I said, and I was crying now, drunk and crying and pathetic. 23 people are alive because of me. That has to count for something. That has to mean something. Jennifer came over and put her hand on my cheek, and her eyes were full of sadness. "It does mean something. Those people, whoever they are, they're grateful. Their families are grateful. But Michael, you can't save the world and lose your own family in the process. It doesn't work that way." "I don't know how to be anything else," I admitted. "I don't know how to be the guy who comes home and mows the lawn and goes to parent-teacher conferences. That guy doesn't exist anymore. He died somewhere in Afghanistan, and I don't know how to bring him back." "Then you need to find out who you are now," she said softly. "And you need to decide if that person has room in his life for me and Lily. Because right now, I don't think he does." She went upstairs, and I slept on the couch. When I woke up the next morning with a pounding headache and a mouth that tasted like ashtrays, there was a note on the coffee table. It said, "I'm taking Lily to my mother's for a while. We both need some space. Use this time to get help. If you love us, really love us, you'll do what needs to be done. If you don't, then I guess we'll know where we stand." They were gone for 3 weeks. 3 weeks of me alone in that house, rattling around like a ghost, staring at Lily's toys and Jennifer's pictures and trying to figure out how everything had gone so wrong. I thought about killing myself. I'm not going to lie about that. I sat in the garage with my old service pistol. unloaded but still heavy in my hands, and I thought about how easy it would be to just end it, to stop being a burden, to stop hurting the people I loved. But then I thought about Chen, about Rodriguez, about that Afghan boy with the mangled leg, about all 23 people whose lives I'd saved. If their lives mattered enough for me to risk everything to save them, didn't my life matter too? I called the VA the next day, got an appointment with a therapist who specialized in combat trauma. Her name was Dr. Patricia Wade, a former Army nurse who'd done 2 tours in Iraq. She'd seen it all, and she didn't bullshit me. "You have PTSD," she said after our first session. "Severe, untreated PTSD. You've been self-medicating with alcohol. You've been isolating yourself. You've been avoiding triggers instead of processing trauma. And if you don't deal with this, it's going to kill you." "How do I deal with it?" I asked. "Therapy, medication if necessary, support groups, time, work. It's not a quick fix, Michael. This is going to take years, and it's going to be hard. But the alternative is losing everything." I started going to therapy twice a week, started attending a support group with other combat vets, started doing the work, even though every session felt like ripping open old wounds and forcing myself to look at the infection inside. I called Jennifer and told her what I was doing. Asked her to come home. "Not yet," she said. "I'm glad you're getting help. I'm proud of you for taking that step. But I need to see that you're committed to this. I need to see change, not just promises." So I kept working, kept going to therapy. Stopped drinking, which was harder than anything I'd done in Afghanistan. Joined a gym and started working out to deal with the anxiety and the anger and the constant feeling of being on edge. 3 months later, Jennifer agreed to come home. But things were different. We were different. There was a distance between us that hadn't been there before. A wariness in the way she looked at me, like she was always waiting for me to fall apart again. We tried couples counseling, tried date nights, tried to rebuild what we'd had, but the foundation was cracked, and no matter how much we tried to patch it, the cracks kept spreading. Lily was 4 years old, and she was scared of me. Not all the time, but sometimes. If I raised my voice or moved too quickly or had a nightmare and woke up shouting, she'd flinch. She'd hide behind Jennifer or go to her room and close the door. My daughter was afraid of me. The man who'd saved 23 lives couldn't even make his own daughter feel safe. In November 2011, Jennifer sat me down and said the words I'd been dreading. "I think we should separate." "Please," I begged. "Please don't do this. I'm getting better. I'm doing the work. You are getting better," she agreed. "And I'm proud of you for that. But Michael, we're not getting better. Every time I look at you, I see all the pain and the fear and the years of feeling alone. And I don't know how to let go of that." "So we just give up?" I asked. "After everything we've been through, we just quit?" "We're not quitting," she said gently. "We're acknowledging that sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes 2 people can love each other and still not be able to make it work." I wanted to argue. I wanted to fight for her, for us, for our family. But I was tired. So tired. And maybe she was right. Maybe love wasn't enough. We separated in December 2011. Jennifer and Lily moved into an apartment across town. I stayed in the house, surrounded by ghosts and memories and the wreckage of what used to be my life. The divorce was finalized in March 2012. We split everything 50-50, joint custody of Lily, no drama, no fighting, just 2 people who'd once loved each other acknowledging that they couldn't anymore. I wish I could tell you that was rock bottom, but it wasn't. Rock bottom came 6 months later when I was alone in that house on what would have been our 8th wedding anniversary, and I realized I'd traded my family for a sense of purpose that had died the moment I left Afghanistan. Those 23 lives I saved, they mattered. They mattered to those people and their families, but they couldn't fill the hole left by losing my wife and daughter. I kept going to therapy, kept working on myself, and slowly, very slowly, I started to figure out who I was outside of being a soldier, outside of being a husband and father. I went back to school and got a degree in social work, started working with other veterans, helping them navigate the transition back to civilian life. Started using my experience, both the good and the bad, to help other people avoid the mistakes I'd made. Lily's 9 years old now. I see her every other weekend and 1 night a week for dinner. We're building a relationship slowly. She's not afraid of me anymore. She's starting to see me as a person, not just as a source of trauma and fear. Jennifer remarried last year. A good guy, an accountant, stable and present in everything I wasn't. I'm happy for her. I genuinely am. She deserves someone who can give her what she needs. And me, I'm learning to live with what I've done and what I've lost. I'm learning that you can be a hero on a battlefield and still fail at the things that matter most. I'm learning that saving lives doesn't give you a free pass to mess up your own. Those 23 people I saved in Afghanistan, I still think about them. I hope they're living good lives. I hope they're with their families, watching their children grow up, experiencing all the normal, beautiful, boring things that make life worth living. But I also think about the 24th and 25th lives I should have saved. Jennifer and Lily, my wife and daughter, the people who needed me most and who I failed because I didn't know how to be present. I didn't know how to bring myself home. Not just my body. If you're a veteran watching this, if you're struggling with the transition back to civilian life, please learn from my mistakes. Get help early. Don't wait until you've lost everything. Don't convince yourself that you can handle it alone. You can't. I couldn't. None of us can. And if you love a veteran, if you're watching them struggle and don't know how to help, be patient. But also be honest. Tell them when they're not present. Tell them when their behavior is hurting you. Don't sacrifice yourself trying to save someone who isn't ready to be saved. The military teaches you to complete the mission at all costs. But sometimes the most important mission is the one waiting for you at home. Sometimes the life you need to save is your own. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is admit you need help. I saved 23 lives in Afghanistan. I'm proud of that. Those people matter. Their stories matter. But I couldn't save my marriage. And I have to live with that. I have to accept that being good at war doesn't automatically make you good at peace. That the skills that keep you alive in combat can destroy you at home. It's been 11 years since my last deployment. I'm in therapy. I'm sober. I have a career I'm passionate about. I have a relationship with my daughter that gets a little bit better every day. I'm not the man I was before Afghanistan. I'm not the man I was when I came home. I'm someone new, someone built from the broken pieces of both those versions of myself. And maybe that's okay. Maybe that's all any of us can do. Keep moving forward. Keep trying to do better. Keep learning from our mistakes. 23 lives saved. 1 marriage lost. Countless lessons learned. That's my story. That's my truth. And if it helps even one person avoid the mistakes I made, then maybe it was worth sharing. Thank you for listening.